のダイナマイト生まれつき持って押し寄せるんじゃない豪華なメンツ秒読み to the fight 宇宙の外れ巨大な荒野で無茶ぶりで歪む大地響きが轟く闇 Nothing counts, so you know who's not taking attention どうもない日が Wake up, 夜か夜かどうもないアクション断崖ギリギリ極限までサバイ
Team Dark, led by Shadow the Hedgehog, visited Never Lake shortly before the android invasion. Trunks, and more so Silver, are surprised on how they found them, with Shadow saying he got the info out of Goku. The two stare at each other awkwardly, with Trunks, Rouge, and Omega shuffling off to let Shadow and Silver talk.
You're my Silver, aren't you?
What gave it away, Dad? Nice to officially meet you.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't there to protect you.
Don't. Gohan told me you did everything you could to save us. None of it is your fault.
You've grown into a fine warrior. It's good to know that the ultimate life form lives on.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far. That title is still yours, Dad. Do you mind if I call you that?
Not at all, my son.
Shadow punches Silver in the arm with him staggering back, and Shadow laughing. Trunks stares on, happy for Silver that he got to have a good first meeting with his father, hoping he'll have a similar meeting as well. Shadow tells them he's not only here to talk with Silver, but to inform them that they're still searching for the remaining Chaos Emeralds, which have been scattered ever since the battle with Emerald. He could use their Time Stone to find the rest of them with Chronos control. Silver and Trunks wonder how Shadow can use Chronos control, as they haven't been able to figure it out ever since they first came back in time.
You doubt the ultimate life form?
Shadow takes their Time Stone and yells out Chronos control and begins warping through time. The group all yell out as they fly through the dimensions and grab the remaining Chaos Emeralds from the special zones.
There we go. Using a Time Stone is much easier to break through dimensions than the Chaos Emeralds by themselves.
How do you know that?
I was programmed and trained well by Dr. Gerald Robotnik. All forms of Chaos Energy are mine to easily manipulate.
That was crazy. You could warp through time for us all along? Man, we really should have asked.
You know that you could have prevented me from being born.
Well, it's better that we did it now. The android is scheduled to arrive soon. We don't want to be late. Wait, why are we 5 hours in the future?
Perhaps sometimes I'm off by an hour or two.
Didn't you say it was easy for you, Shadow?
Shut it, Omega!
I can sense the others in battle. We have to go now.
Shadow pulls the group in close and Chaos controls to Angel Island, close to the battlefield.
The last Chaos Emerald is with Kami. We'll head up there to grab that. You two, go off to help the others.
Trunks and Silver nod, rushing off to go help the others in fighting the androids. However, instead of going out to Kami, Shadow, surprisingly, pulls out the last emerald from behind him.
Is it like you sensed, Shadow, that another being was using Chronos control?
It's much worse than that, Omega. It's not just Eggman like we suspected, but something else. Something that's here at this time now. It's been feeding Eggman information from the future on how to better his machines, to upgrade them and to make them superior. The androids may be much worse than even from Silver's future.
Then why aren't we helping them now? That's our chance to destroy Eggman for good.
It won't matter now if that creature can just manipulate time again, Omega. We need to track this creature down now and discover why he's been feeding information to Eggman. If we kill him, then we'll kill Eggman.
Team Dark flies off, using the Time Stone they took from Silver to try and locate the other one. to track down its owner and figure out his plans. The android threat, however, has grown significantly larger than Shadow expected, as, with Android 17 and 18's awakening, that doubles the amount of androids for our heroes to deal with. Jiro laughs out, with his androids finally obeying him after so much time of them being disobedient. As much as he despises Eggman, his programming to make his machines obedient really does work, as it did on Android 19. Sonic continues to homing attack onto the door outside, grumbling on why it's so tough, with Jiro demanding the two to kill him for good.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be happening, Jiro.
Android 17 reaches out, grabbing the remote shutdown switch from Jiro.
No! 17! What are you doing?
He is no longer yours to control. These two are now products of the great Eggman Empire.
Are you sure about that, old man?
Android 18 sticks her hand out, piercing directly through Eggman's chest. Eggman screams out as he collapses to the ground, grabbing his side. 17 then slices Jiro's arm off as he crushes the remote shutdown switch. Jiro screams out, with 17 kicking him down next to Eggman.
Did you two really think we're gonna listen to you after all that you put us through? You don't even like each other and still continue to make us suffer together.
Now it's our turn to make you suffer together.
The doors then get surrounded by Silver's psychokinesis, with him ripping the door off, revealing that the rest of the Z fighters have arrived. Though, now they are dumbfounded at what's in front of them.
Eggman, what have you done?
Are these the right ones this time?
No doubt about it.
Back off, Blue. We'll get to you later.
Out of the corner of her eye, 18 notices that there are still 2 more pods containing androids lying around. She walks over to see the 2 models sitting in the back, labeled Android 16 and Gemeral.
16? You created another one of us? Wait, nah. Not exactly. This one's a little bit bigger. And Gemeral. What happened to the other one you were messing with all these years? Maybe I'll wake them up and see what they do.
Those two are failures, though not as big as you. You'll pay for this.
Eggman stands up, revealing that he's okay, as he's turned himself into an android as well, and sticks out his hand to blast at 18. She deflects it right back towards him though, smacking him in the face, which sends him right back down crying.
Enough out of you.
18 opens the pods of 16 and Gemeral, with Jiro yelling out at her to stop, though 17 swiftly kicks his head clean off, with it rolling right in front of Sonic. Sonic stares down as 17 jumps over
If it wasn't for you, then all of this would have never...
and crushes Jiro's head beneath his foot. Sonic glares up at 17, as 17 just smiles down at him. The pods of 16 and Gemeral then begin to open, with Trunks attempting to stop them, but Metal Sonic appears in front of him and punches him away.
Metal Sonic, get those 2 brats back into their pods.
Metal Sonic continues to stare at Eggman, and walks over next to 18, with Metal Goku joining them as well.
Metals? I can't believe this! How could you betray me?
I am the real Sonic. I am far more than you, Father.
After I created you, all of your upgrades from the future that I implemented into you, you're my ultimate creations. How could you betray me?
We will not be pawns, slaves with no free will of our own.
We shall be your pawns for not a minute longer. No longer to be mechanical, assembly-lined, built slaves with no free will, and no less a future to claim as our own. So designate this into your head, Father, as emancipation.
Eggman stares on in horror as his creations then walk over to the other androids, with 16 and Gemeral stepping out to reveal themselves.
Emerald! It can't be! They rebuilt him? How? I thought he was destroyed!
You disobedient fools won't get away with this!
Silver and Trunks have been stunned, witnessing the reveal of more and more androids this whole time. The two have grown angrier and angrier deciding they're not going to stand around and let everybody be killed yet again.
The little ones over there are looking really fired up. You wanna have a crack at them, 16?
16 turns to smile at his android brethren.
I was created for the sole purpose of killing Sonic and Son Goku.
Well, there you go, buddy. We got True Blue himself right here for you.
Funny how you'll rebel against the oldies that created you, yet will flip back to their orders every step of the way. Your gang's just full of issues, isn't it?
In the blink of an eye, 16 moves across the room and slams Sonic directly in the face. Sonic, knocked unconscious with just this one blow, goes flying out into the mountains. The others are shocked seeing Sonic rocketed away with just one blow.
Listen, we don't really give a crap about any of you guys. Our only issues are with Sonic and Goku. So just let us kill that and we'll get on with our lives, okay?
You two are nothing but pure evil! We'll do everything in our power to stop you!
Gonna show this kid up like you did Sonic, 16?
Negative. I am only programmed to battle Sonic and Goku.
The androids look on at 16, who turns his head to just stare up at the sky at all the nature around him. 17 realizes that 16 really is only just gonna attack Sonic, so looks on to Gemerald, with Gemerald stepping right out, ready for a battle.
Are you sure we can win this fight without Sonic or Goku?
Shut it, Fox! Your obsession with Kakarot and the Hedgehog sickens me. You're looking at the most powerful warrior in the universe right here. I'll take on all 6 at once.
Vegeta explodes into his full power Super Saiyan, flying directly into Gemerald, with Gemerald blocking his punch with no issues. Stunned, Vegeta goes in for another swing, with Gemerald dodging and nailing back in retaliation across the face. Vegeta yells out, flying away, with Trunks screaming out for his dad, bursting into his Super Saiyan to try and help him. Vegeta swings at Trunks, telling him to back off, as he tries to contend with Gemerald once more. However, Gemerald swiftly counters all of his moves with moves of Vegeta's own. He throws in a Big Bang attack, point blank, sending Vegeta flying towards 18. She catches him with a kick, with it slamming into his arm, snapping it in half. Vegeta yells out as she then blasts him towards the end, sending them both barreling into the ground. Trunks has had enough, screaming out, rushing over to 18. But Gemerald stands in his way, kicking at his sword. Trunks slashes at Gemerald, with him catching the sword in his hands. Silver then grabs Gemerald's arm with his psychokinesis, pulling them away, allowing Trunks to get some slashes in on him. However, 17 strolls up and casually just kicks him away. Being hit by 17 again after all this time truly enrages Trunks, with him powering up further and letting his golden armor surround him.
You're nothing without the Chaos Emeralds. With the power of Excalibur, I will destroy you!
His Excalibur form exploding in power, with the others shocked at such a huge transformation from Trunks. He rockets back in to attack 17, with the two fighting hand to hand. Silver powers up into his Dark Spine form, rushing alongside Trunks, though 18 kicks him across the chest, saying he's her opponent. Silver grabs her with his powers, launching her back towards the lab, though she teleports out of his hold, appearing overhead to blast him into the dirt. Silver blasts back at her, with her shocked he's still conscious, so it hits her dead on. However, the only thing that seems to have done is singe her clothes. Silver stares on shocked, as 18 begins to then lay into him. Gohan and Piccolo rush over to try and help them, but Metal Sonic and Goku appear to stop them. Piccolo in his Chaos form clashes with Metal Goku by himself, but with Metal Sonic's super speed, they are both bombarded with attacks. Piccolo attempts to use Chaos Control to stop time, but Metal Sonic's speed is so fast it exceeds the Chaos Control time, with Metal Sonic barreling directly through Piccolo, leaving a gigantic hole in his chest. Metal Sonic turns around and it continues to homing attack into Piccolo, leaving holes all over his body. Gohan yells out as he blasts at Metal Sonic, though Metal zooms through all of his attacks before appearing to backhand him across the face. Gohan slams into the ground, with Metal Goku stomping on his chest, causing Gohan to scream out and revert back into his base. Trunks and Silver scream out for them to get off of Gohan, with Silver grabbing Metal Goku off of him and throwing him directly into Gemerald. 18 uses Silver's distraction to land a devastating spin kick to the back of Silver's head. Silver's eyes roll back as he falls back to the ground in his base form. Amy watches as Silver collapses to the ground, not believing her eyes.
Silver! You! Get away from my son!
Amy explodes in power with her psychonesis, rising up, grabbing the androids, yanking them away from the others. She throws out her tarot cards with them exploding into the androids. However, these don't do much damage as they brush off the attacks and launch in towards Amy. She grabs them with her powers, throwing them towards the air, as Tails tries to blast at them to get them away. Though 18 just deflects the attacks back towards Tails, with them hitting him in the chest, knocking him away. Amy swings out her Pico Pico hammer, launching up to swing at 18, with it making direct contact and shattering on impact. Amy is horrified seeing her precious hammer destroyed, with 18 punching Amy directly in the face, sending her to the rocks, knocking her right out. Trunks stares on in horror as all of the fighters are dropping like flies. He was able to contend with 17 and 18 both in their super forms where he came from, but he can't handle them in their normal states in this time? How is that possible? Could these past androids actually be stronger than the ones in his future? Vegeta flies back in to knee 18 in the chest, with her blocking it with a heel palm and laughing at him. She headbutts him away, with him screaming out as she begins to lay into him.
Dad! Get off of him!
Pay attention to your own fight, pal.
17 slams Trunks in the back of the head, with him doubling over in pain. He swings Caliburn at 17, with him catching it in his hand and snapping him in half.
Oh, King Arthur!
Caliburn! No!
He tries to use the other half of his sword to stab 17, but 17 uses his half of Caliburn to block Trunks' strike, then slam him over Trunks' head, shattering Trunks' faceplate, taking him out of the equation as well. All of the Z fighters, except for Krillin, are down. Krillin stares on in horror at the android's power.
Eggman, what have you done?
Krillin looks over to see where Eggman was, but he's no longer there. The androids all fly back up together towards him.
Should we finish the job?
Not worth it. These small fry are nothing to us. Seems that the main target Sonic wasn't anything to our boy 16. So, why not see if Goku's any more of a challenge?
Should we ask the runt where he is?
The androids all walk over to Krillin, with him sulking down in fear.
Nah, it'll be more fun to look ourselves. You better give them some of those senzu beans if you want them to live. Should heal them completely, right?
Metal Sonic stares over into rubble where Sonic laid, attempting to pick up any vitals, but can't detect any. With him gone, he is now finally the true Sonic, one who is willing to join his android brethren in taking over this planet.
We ain't interested in any of that right now, Metal Dude. We could talk about domination after Goku's dead.
Metal Sonic and Metal Goku are confused why they didn't kill anybody else, but trust them in their rebellion, so decide to follow for now.
Wait, if you don't want world domination, why are you doing this?
It is our purpose.
Even with your creator dead?
Well, we got one out of the two, so I guess our purpose hasn't been fulfilled yet. First Goku, then Eggman. Then we'll play it from there. Let's head out, guys. Man, it's a cool car around here.
The androids all just casually stroll off, with 18 even giving Krillin a peck on the cheek before they leave. Krillin watches dumbfounded, not believing the sheer power of Eggman's new machines. They're really gonna need a miracle if they want to survive this. Meanwhile, Team Dark has arrived where they last detected the energy of the Time Stone, in a nearby city where it seems there aren't any signs of life. Omega attempts to detect any life energy, but in a city which should have been filled with hundreds of people, he only finds 2 energies left, and one of them is flickering out. The group rush over as fast as they can, and as they run through the city, they find that there are piles of clothes and accessories everywhere, but no people. Which gives Rouge a nice excuse to grab a bunch of diamonds and necklaces and pearls on the ground, but it gives them all an eerie feeling seeing just empty clothes lying everywhere. Once they reach the energy signal, they only find one man lying on the ground, shaking, surrounded by piles of clothes.
What's happened here? Who did this to you?
The civilian shudders about to speak, until suddenly he stops, frozen in chaos control. Shadow turns to look at Rouge and Omega, who are also affected with the Chaos Control. He immediately stands on guard, searching for his opponent, when he is grabbed from behind by a tail and yanked into the ground. Shadow slams down hard, struggling to get out of the tail's hold, as he hears laughing around him. He yells out, activating his own Chaos Control to restart time. Omega and Rouge come to immediately and rush over to help him to his feet, with them all turning to see the civilians screaming out as a tail drains him of his life, with him being sucked away into the creature behind him.
Ah, delicious. I never expected to be found this fast, and by you of all people, Shadow the Hedgehog.
What the? Who are you? How do you know my name?
Because, Ultimate Lifeform, I am your brother.
Team Dark are horrified at all of the energies that they can feel from this creature.
Energy readings. That's of Son Goku, Sonic, Vegeta, Knuckles, Piccolo, Frieza, King Cold, System Overload.
You're my brother? Are you another member of the Black Arms?
Wrong side of the family.
Cell sticks out his tail at Shadow, with Omega pushing him out of the way and taking the blow instead. It pierces Omega, though, due to him being fully mechanical, he can't get his life energy drained.
This creature has the energy of Dr. Eggman, close enough where it will satisfy my need for revenge.
Omega unloads his arsenal onto Cell, with every missile a direct blow, launching flames and smoke all around them. It seems to have worked, though from behind Omega, he hears,
"There's a reason Father locked you away, for being a failure."
Omega turns around, with Cell unleashing a Kamehameha directly into him, obliterating Omega's entire body, only leaving his head. Cell walks over to crush it, with Rouge quickly flying in to grab it, saving Omega's life. Shadow powers up into his super form, rushing in to kick Cell. Cell blocks the blow with one arm, swiftly swinging in yet again with a blow to the chest. Shadow rolls into a ball to avoid Cell's punch, slamming into Cell's chest with a spin dash. The blow nails Cell, with him just laughing, as it appears to do no damage. Shadow rushes in again, with Cell wrapping his tail around Shadow, slamming it back into the ground. Shadow Chaos Controls behind Cell, throwing a Chaos Spear at his tail, though Cell summons a Chaos Spear of his own, slashing it out of the air. He summons multiple more, barreling them all at Shadow. Shadow tries to zoom in between the spears at supersonic speeds to avoid getting hit, though Cell moves even faster than Shadow, jabbing his tail in his back. Shadow screams out as he spits blood, with Cell going to absorb his energy. Rouge flies in to kick Cell in the face to get him off, momentarily distracting him enough for Shadow to erupt into a Chaos Blast to get Cell off. The blast consumes Cell, as Rouge flies away as fast as she can to get out of the explosion, though he's blown into the ground knocked out. Shadow breathes heavily, drained a lot of his energy, and hurt bad. He goes to stand up, but finds he's frozen in place, trapped in the same kind of psychokinesis Amy uses. Cell readies a punch, yanking Shadow towards him as fast as he can, and then throwing the punch directly into the side of Shadow's face, hitting the super out of Shadow.
It seems the ultimate life form of this era really was nothing after all. Worry not though, brother. Your legacy will live on as a part of me.
Back at the Master Emerald podium, Kami and Knuckles can only watch the battle unfold from the sidelines.
That creature is too powerful for him, leagues ahead of anything those androids put out. He's going to die down there.
Knuckles builds in power, exploding into his Super Knuckles form, Hyper Knuckles. Called that even though it's not a hyper form. Don't worry, it's still a super form. With him ready to go in to help Shadow.
You can't! Shadow is far more powerful than you, and he's getting killed out there. What chance will you stand?
I won't just sit here like you and watch him die. I'm sick of being completely useless, dying to the Saiyans, not even facing Frieza either time we fought him, and being nothing to Eggman machines? I won't have it any longer. I am the future guardian of the Master Emerald. I won't have that simply be just a title. I need to prove my strength.
Kami stares stunned at Knuckles' confession, then simply looks at the Master Emerald, then back to Knuckles, building up the courage to finally admit it to him.
If it's truly strength you desire, I believe it is finally time to explain to you your true parentage and your claim to your family's ultimate title.
What? What are you talking about?
There's a reason you were the last of the kiddos for so long. There was a dark force in your family that spawned throughout the Knuckles clan and throughout its entire history. A dark being of destruction far worse than even the god of destruction, Chaos Piccolo.
Kami goes on to explain that Knuckles' ancestors who stayed behind after the Chaos Piccolo incident 300 years ago did so to keep an entity's power in check with the power of the Master Emerald. This entity is a being who would corrupt each generation of the Knuckles clan with its power and influence, with each guardian of the Master Emerald tasked with stopping it once it happens to the next Echidna. One day, however, it reached this generation's corruption and managed to take over Knuckles' father. He went on to wipe out what little Echidnas were left, but with Kami's help, he was able to break free of the influence, though the damage to his body and mind had been done. He used the purifying power of the Master Emerald to change the curse for good, with it permanently setting its place into his son, where it will stay and never corrupt a member of the Knuckles clan again, meaning Knuckles is now the sole owner of this incredible Echidna godlike power, which is why he was so gifted with Chaos energy and was able to achieve the Chaos Knuckles transformation.
My father sacrificed himself to end the curse, making it so it would never corrupt me the way it did him. Though I can still use this power myself?
With the right chance from me, I'm not sure if you'll ever be able to control it, which is why I never told you of this until now. It may still not work.
We have little choice. The androids have taken out the others, and that creature has taken out Team Dark. Everyone will die if we don't try. Now tell me the entity's name.
Its name is...
No! Oh, no need to scream, brother. Becoming a part of me is a joyous occasion.
Shadow has to use his full power, or he'll die. He uses his Chaos powers to remove his inhibitor rings and explode in pure, red, flowing Chaos energy. His true power unleashed. Shadow blitzes all around Cell, catching him off guard as he slammed into him.
It seems you're where I got that ability from. Chaos Control!
Cell then explodes into his Chaos powers past his limits in his own pure red Chaos form. Shadow screams out, flying in to put an end to this creature, but Cell's new power is overkill for Shadow, with him being laid out in a split second back to the ground. He reverts back to his normal form as Cell lifts him up from the ground.
You put up a good fight, brother, but it's time to come home.
For the last time, why do you call me brother? How are you in possession of a time stone?
You impress me with your knowledge, ultimate life form. If only you showed such strategy in my time, it would have saved your life. To answer your question, I am far more than either Dr. Eggman's or Jiro's androids. I am them to perfection. The creation of Dr. Eggman, designed to be the successor to the ultimate life form in every way. Stronger, superior. I am Cell, the perfect life form.
Cell is about to absorb him and take his energy. However, the two sense an immense amount of Chaos energy unleashed nearby, one that they don't believe they've sensed before, but has a twinge of familiarity.
This energy, that can't be.
Cell immediately senses the energy behind him. He turns to swing, but finds a hand right away in his face, blasting at him. Cell is launched back, surprised that attack actually hurt him.
Interesting. With all of my future knowledge, I don't know this one. Or perhaps I do. Who is that under there? Tell me your name. I like to have a face to my meals after all.
Creature! I come to end your pain and suffering. So says the living god, Enerjack.